Now, everything you do on the guitar builds up a muscle memory, a familiarity. That thing where the muscle learns and remembers something because of new neural pathways you've just created with the brain. So we're going to talk about a couple of things here. Like before you play, one thing you can do is to begin sort of stretching those hands in, do some exercises, bending the fingers back, bending them forward so you get the stretch here, doing the fingers individually maybe. It's going to be very, very brief because of the faster nature of these videos. I won't go into depth of that. There are lots of videos out there that tell you about hand stretching exercises, the sort of thing, like with the dumbbell, and you roll that down your fingers and let it bend over like that, and then you pull the dumbbell back up into your bit like that, and it's all cool. Right, what we are gonna next go on to is kind of the finger exercises, and this thing, you're not specifically trying to play anything in particular. It's just familiarizing and building that muscle memory and that comfort with the fingers on the neck board, because once you begin to get that, you fully more develop those calluses on all four fingers, remember, even the little finger. That's really important. And the other thing is, is that idea of the space between the frets and the subtle difference as you go up higher. That it gets a little easier actually. The higher you go, they aren't quite as far apart as the lower ones, you'll find. And the other thing is, the space of difference between the strings, because there could be a time, when you need to go from, say, the A string, which as you now know is the fifth string, and you quickly want to jump, say, to the G string, which is the third string from the bottom, and there's a bit of a jump there, and your finger might go to the wrong string by feel. Okay, remember, it's cool to play in the dark. It's cool to try and feel your way and play without looking even. That's all good. That's all fine. So and you develop that comfort, that level of comfort there. So let's, one exercise you can do, the very, very most basic thing, and this is a great drill basically to get in. Let's choose, say, the E string, the high E string, the one furthest away from you at the bottom. And we'll just take our four fingers. I don't even need to show you on the guitar, it's that simple. And you'll just be playing the first finger, the index finger, at the first fret, and then so on. I don't want to swear at you, so I'm not going to show the next ones. But basically, all four fingers is going to go fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, fret 4. One finger for each fret. Does that make sense? So you'll go play first finger, first fret on that E string, and then put the second finger on the second fret, play. Third finger on the third fret, play. Fourth finger on the fourth fret, play. And then you can begin to take them off. Take that fourth finger off and go back down again, play. Second fret, play. First fret, play. Play open if you like. And then you could just run up and down. Play, play, like that. And you could keep all those fingers down to, create more strength on the way up. And of course you've got to let them go on the way back down. You don't want them like too far away here. You don't want to get into this habit because they're going to be floating too far away and you might need another finger quickly. So if they're all the way up here, it's bad discipline if you're going to start to build towards speed later on. So don't keep them too far away. Don't get into that habit in the first place. You probably don't want to get into the other habit of curling your thumb all the way around the top of the neck board. Like that. Keep it sort of underneath and supported just enough so it will always support your fingers to be able to go where they need to go. And if you need a little bit more retail space there on the neck board, remember you can always pivot at the wrist, and a little bit of a pivot at the wrist, a little turn, say this way or that way, will change the configuration and the kind of space that you can grant one end or the other end, so to speak, the kind of reach potential. And those first frets are a little bit further apart and a bigger stretch away than, say, the higher end of the neck board. So if you're finding these too much of a stretch at the moment with these four fingers, that's fine, and that's perfectly normal as well. You could go all the way up the neck board and start up there, for instance, where you'll see that the difference between the frets is much smaller. So, choose a point and just start playing all the way up and then back down to the first finger again. And then go across a string, go up to the B string and do it again. and then all the way back there. It's going to be awkward. You're going to be missing things. That's all fine. It's all fine. Just stick with it. The G string, same thing again, and then take them off, and then the D string, same thing again, just successively up, successively back down to that first finger. And you work across all the strings, and you can do that back and forth, change the fret you're at, you know, and then do it again from a new starting fret. One finger to each fret, and that is a really good discipline to begin to build, that one finger per fret, because there's going to be scales and things that will move across the fingerboard. And then when you actually start learning those scales, you've already put that muscle memory in there. Even if you don't learn those scales here in these videos, because I'm giving you the absolute beginner stuff, you know, I can hand you over to someone, and whoever you get handed over to, you will be in a great position to be able to take that off of them, or, you know, whatever other resource you use. It will put you in good stead, is what I'm saying. Now, when you feel pretty comfortable doing that, even if you're just sat there with an electric guitar, not plugged in so it doesn't make too much noise while you're watching something, and you're just like going through those motions, you know, whether with finger or whether with plectrum, we can get into that a bit with the right hand, dealy-do, soon. Once you start to sort of get familiar with that, get a metronome. You can get them on the app. There's metronomes available in all sorts. They are free to acquire, so that's all good. And what you can do is you can begin to develop that against the metronome, and then try to keep it with the metronome and start really, really slow. And only when you get really confident with those notes and you don't miss one, only then should you think about sort of speeding it up. Because the way to play really, really fast, and I don't play fast, but I happen to know this, I just choose not to play fast, I choose not to learn to push myself that way. The way you do actually learn to play fast is play slow really, really well. That's the advice you'll hear everywhere. If you can play slow and simple and play it really technically good and hit all of those notes with the right expression or equal expression or the desired expression, if they're not going to be equal, purposefully designed, then once you then attempt to speed it up, that will sound good. Because someone that just goes straight for fast, they will not sound as good as you if you've learnt to play precisely slow and then built up fast. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy that's doing all this and sounds crap? Or do you want to be the one that sounds really good slow and has the option to push up and go sound really good fast? My suggestion is be the second one. All right, I'll see you at the next one.